happens in our churches. And also for nkwa na maboni din also for nkwa na bibi also for yenso eh. So many people want to become asofo. Even when they are not called, they want to be. Like some of the catechists here and there, who think that it is only the asofo that every day asofo and every day asofo means you are for this could do asofo ni bina fe means you are free maybe. That is how many of these young Christians were trying to behave at the time. And James has to talk about this. Hey, my brothers, please be careful. Oh, be careful. It is not just about you teaching. It's not just about you becoming teachers. It's not just about you receiving the applause of men. And he sounded a caution to them. Yes, teaching must be done. But those who teach must understand their responsibility. As those who teach would be judged, and they will be judged with strict measures, or they will be judged strictly than the others. He says that a teacher's condemnation is greater because having professed to have clear knowledge of duty, he is all the more bound to obey. Once you say you are a teacher, once you say that you know, and we should give you the platform for you to show that you know. Okay. When it comes to the action, to let us know that you can do it and do it. So the first lesson that we can gather from what we are looking at in this passage is that be careful of what you say because you will be judged by it. Be careful of what you say because you will be judged by it. Be careful of your tongue because whatever you say, you will be judged by it. James says that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. We who teach. And therefore he even warns them in the same verse 1 that many of you shouldn't be teachers. You should not be teachers. Many of you should not yearn to be teachers. No, don't force yourself to be teachers. Jesus would add a voice to this particular thing as we read from Matthew chapter 12 verse 36 to 37. Matthew 12, 36, 37. Jesus says that I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account of every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Everything you say, you will be judged by it. You will either be justified by it or you will be condemned by it. So be careful, be careful. Many of you who yearn to become a software, be careful how you speak concerning the software. Because when you become a software, you will be judged by it. Many of you who teach in the pulpit, you say a lot of things. Be careful. Because the church members will judge you by it. They will judge you by it. And Jesus is saying you will be either be justified or you will be condemned. Because or can't say anyway you know the oye or manu the omu ye and your ogu so the didn't say ready any money poye. We will be judged by whatever we say. So let us be careful. Obidia ba Jesus. Hello. Obidia ba yeye yantu ye boss. Eto de bi mpo na nye saa na tie yantu ye boss. Na ye hunu ni kan yie. Si ye kire Yenshia ye ne hu nkyerɛkyerɛ ni ye. Ɛnyɛ sɛ obi ayɛ wadeɛ nti na ɔpɛ kwan biara so de akɔgya pulpit nim na wotwa n'akyi hyew. We will be judged by it. I've forgotten the story, but I remember Papa Ampea used to share with us. A senior minister and a junior minister who were in the same place, and so many things happened. And a junior minister was transferred. And on the day of his send-off, so when he was preaching and he was about to, and he says, "Media miko namuni afrumi intra, afrumi entra." You remember that passage? So me, I am leaving. You stay with the donkey. And so when the minister also came for the mic, so okay. Jimmy Sam but abofra kuma ho. Nanti eso ba. Obeku be edo beko. Whatever you say, we will be judged by it. Be careful. Be careful. When we came on the first day, Papa Director was sharing with us that we are catechists. And in the church, the catechist is the teacher. We teach the catechumen, the catechism at the catechesis or whatever. We are the teachers. And James is helping us to understand that when we teach or when we are about teaching people, we should know that we will be judged by what we are teaching. And I mean, also for my men, also for my bibi anye, and your mammy preachy be, and your mammy preachy be, with your preaching now preaching we are. You will be judged by it. So be careful. Be careful. The second thing that James raises out of this context again is the fact that we should be careful of what we say by controlling our mouth or controlling our tongue. Be careful of what perfect man. If you're able to control your tongue, you are perfect. So you are a great man. Then he tries to compare the tongue with some others. He uses some illustrations. The first thing that he compares to is the bit that is used to cram the mouth of the horse, so that the horse cannot do anything than to obey. So once you are running, when you say you should go this direction, because you are holding it, the horse will obey you. The horse will obey you. Again, he compared it to the rudder of the ship. That when the pilot is holding that small rudder, he is able to maneuver it to wherever he or she wants it to go, because he is holding it. And the rudder is controlling it. And he said the ship may be large, huge. The wind may be blowing, but still the rudder will say go this direction and it goes. Again, he compares it to a spark of fire in the forest. Just imagine during the Hamatan seasons, and you spark just fire, small one. Before you realize, the whole place will be burned up, right? Paul says that is how the tongue can behave too. Then he makes a statement that we can tame all these animals, no matter how they are, no matter how deadly they may be. We tame them. We bring them to our zoos. Then he says, this tongue is like that too. But this tongue can sometimes misbehave to it. It can does different things too. So in verse 5, he mentions that the tank, even though it is small, it can boast of great things. And that is how sometimes some men will boast and boast. Hey, metal brahma wate. Oh, unime. Achinkwa minumbremu unime. Tuwa kwa wasu wanana. And they will boast and boast and boast and boast, but you go and they have tea. And that is the power of the tongue. It can influence people. It can influence people to believe what is not even there. That is the tongue. He says the tongue is a fire. Verse 6 says the tongue is fire. It can cause a lot of trouble. It can cause a lot of troubles. Between two friends. Hi. Before you realize they are fighting. What is it? This person has said that and he has said that, and you will go in there and are married because of that. And that is the tongue. Say something small. So be careful of what you say to people. Even your children, be careful. Be careful of what you say. Be careful. What you say to the church members, be careful. Be careful what you say. Even to your spouses, your wife, your husband, be careful. The verse 6b says that the tongue is a world of unrighteousness. A world of unrighteousness. Then verse 6, the latter part, he says that the tongue is set among our members. So you see the whole body. The tongue or the mouth is just a small part. But he says that it stains the whole body. It stains the whole body. You can plan all that you want to say. And you can decide everything. But sometimes you go to meet the person. Na ayera. Na foko kankwasi asem sebe. Wasaying na. Your whole course of life can be destroyed. Destroyed. Media mi be ni and avoid the same apim what the apim way. You said this is yourself, how would you go on in this life? So be careful what you say. It can cause your life to be shattered. Be careful. Then he says that it's set on fire by hell. And it tells you where sometimes some of the things may be coming from. So when you go to verse 8, James tried to make his final conclusion on the statement. That he says, this tongue cannot be tamed by any human being. It cannot be tamed. He continues to explain further that it is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. It is a restless evil. Akweso obia. Oye, di bonye ni no pe boni aye no nya binye. Or somebody who wants to steal, and he gets to a place where he wants to steal and he cannot find anything to steal. The person is restless. Or it's like somebody who is addicted to drug. And you want drug to satisfy that addiction, and the addiction, he is not able to find the drug. And the person is. This morning, we have blessed the Lord. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, worship his holy name. And then we go out there. Kwasia. Oh yeah, oh see the same person, the same tongue. Matthew chapter 15 verse 11 says that it is not what goes into our mouth that defiles a person, but what comes out of our mouth, this defile the person. It is not what is going in there. No. It is what is coming out of us. What is coming out of your mouth. As a cat is what comes out of your mouth may defile you. Hey, no can say. Let us be careful. Controlling what comes out of our mouth. But though James says that the tongue cannot be tamed, I think we can have a solution to this problem. We can control the tongue. So control the tongue by being careful of the source from which the tongue gets the information to speak. If you cannot tame the tongue, then be careful. You may want to say it as it is, as some people will say. But should we always say it as it is? Papa Director will say that you can misquote my words, but you cannot misquote my silence. You can misquote my words. What if I am quiet? What if I don't say anything? So where the ideas may be coming from, where we nest the ideas, where we nest the things that we say, let's be careful of that place too. What does Matthew chapter 10 verse 33 says? Matthew 10:33. Matthew 12 verse 33. 12:33. He says, either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and the fruit bad. For the tree is known by its fruits. Then 34 says, you brood of vipers, how can you speak good when you are evil? If wherever we are bringing the things from for the mouth is saying it is good, if it is not good, then obviously it will not be good. For out of the abundance of the heart is what the mouth will speak. So we can control the mouth by controlling what is abundance in our heart. What is it that is in our heart? Is it bitterness? Is it jealousy? What is it that is in our heart that would influence whatever that is coming out of our mouth? He said, if we are good, then good will come out. But if we are evil, then we should be sure that evil would also come out. So James says that the same mouth should not bring forth evil and good. If you are a good person, bring forth good. So he uses two illustrations. He uses the salty water and the fresh water. That the same point cannot bring forth two water. And the water, one is salty and one is fresh. No, it cannot happen. It will either be salty or it will be fresh water. So we either will bring forth salty water or we bring forth fresh water. We bring forth fresh water. As catechists, we need to be careful because we will be judged by it. We should make every effort to control this tongue. Make every effort to control the tongue. So that when we are judged, we will not be condemned, but we will be justified. May the Lord grant us grace. So we will go out there and we will be careful. We will be careful. Be careful of your mouth. Be careful of your tongue. Let us pray. Well, you just reflect on this that we have heard this morning. What is the Lord drawing your attention to? What is the Lord drawing your attention to? In what ways are you supposed to guard your mouth, guard your tongue? In which areas of your life do you need to keep quiet? In which areas of your life do you need to speak? Now, many of us, we don't speak. Because you will meet some people who have left our church and you ask them, that the Lord will have mercy upon us as leaders. Would you pray then the Lord grant me self-control? Grant me grace to know when to speak and when not to speak. That even when I have to speak, grant me grace that I will speak fresh water. Something good will come out of me. My enemy will no crash so. Na yampe adefufro. Jenia wu ye nyame pe wapedi ye na eyefe. Lord, grant us grace. Lord, grant us grace. Father, we are grateful. May you be praised this morning, even as you bring us to the end of another day's devotion. We are grateful. And may the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable